Vader was a freak athlete. He was billed as being 6 foot 5 inches tall and weighing 450 pounds. You would think this was a guy that had a slow working style in the ring. You would be wrong. Vader was doing moonsaults regularly. One time he did a back handspring from the outside of the ring to the inside. He was the definition of a freak athlete. He also was a hard-hitting wrestler. When you wrestled Vader, you were going to be in for a long night. Who I consider the best big man in the history of the business. Big Van Vader was an international superstar in wrestling. He did big things here in the States, and he also was a huge star in Japan and did great things in Germany. For this video, I will just be looking at his matches here in the United States. Vader had a lot of great matches between WCW and WWE. He had great feuds with Sting, Flair, Hogan, Cactus Jack, Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker. Number 5 versus Stan Hansen, Wrestle War 1991. If you're looking for some great hold-for-hold grappling or leapfrogs and dropkicks, this match isn't for you. This is what Jim Ross calls a slobber knocker. This match is ugly in a good way. Stan Hansen had tobacco hanging out of his mouth, Vader's underwear was hanging out, and these two just fought. Vader and Hansen had a famous match in Japan that resulted in Vader's eye popping out of the socket. Luckily that didn't happen here, but it could have. They had a good brawl and at one point ended up on their knees trading punches and headbutts. A big thing in wrestling now, thanks to Big E, is fans wanting to see big meaty men slapping meat. That's exactly what this match is. Check this match out if you want to see that guy that played Frankie Stachino's dad and the teeny wanger guy from No Holds Barred beat the snot out of each other. Number 4 versus Davy Boy Smith, Slamboree 1993. This match was like the Hulk versus Thor. No one had ever manhandled Vader like Davy Boy was doing in this match. Smith was so incredibly strong that he was able to pick Vader up and walk around with him. He hit Vader with a beautiful delayed vertical suplex that I still can't believe. Not only was he tossing Vader around, but he was not selling some of his moves early on. It really looked like Davy Boy was going to win the world title in this one. But like the Hulk, Big Van Vader gets stronger the madder he gets. Vader was flying off the top like he was Rey Mysterio in this match. He was dropping his full weight on Smith left and right, and I was surprised Smith could still breathe by the end of it. This is another meaty meat match and a really unstoppable force versus a movable object battle. Number 3 versus Cactus Jack, Halloween Havoc 1993. Vader and Cactus Jack had one of the most violent feuds of the 1990s, and that says a lot with the Attitude Era and ECW bursting onto the scene just a few years after this. It was also a pretty one-sided feud as Vader was whooping Cactus. He ripped his ear off, legitimately broke his nose, and powerbombed him on the cement and gave him amnesia. This match was a Texas death match, and they delivered the violence once again. Both guys were bleeding like stuck pigs, and Cactus Jack was taking some sick bumps. This match featured some spots with a table, and that was almost unheard of for 1993. Also, this had a cool finish where Harley Race hit Cactus Jack with a taser to keep him down. It really drove home the idea that Jack was indestructible. This match went down as the best Texas death match of all time, and that record lasted for 30 years until recently Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page tried to kill each other in AEW. I like to think Vader and Jack would have been happy seeing Swerve and Hangman honoring them in such a brutal match. Number 2 versus Hulk Hogan, Super Brawl 1995. When Hogan first signed with WCW in 1994, his first feud was with Ric Flair, and that was the smart choice as the fans had been salivating for the two biggest stars of the previous decade to battle. But a lot of fans knew there was a monster waiting for Hogan in the shadows. Hogan had done battle with a lot of bigger guys in his time, but I don't think there was a badder monster than Vader. I like to compare wrestling to comics, and if Hulk Hogan is Superman, then Vader was Doomsday. I've been a Hulkamaniac my whole life, and I always watched WWF because of that. So when he jumped to WCW, I started watching that, which exposed me to great talent like Sting, Vader, Cactus Jack, and Harlem Heat. This match had such a big match feel to it. They had Michael Buffer as the ring announcer. Flair and the Grey Muta were both sitting ringside, which showed this match had international appeal. This was the most physical match we had seen from Hogan in probably his entire U.S. career. Vader looked great in this match as he no-sold a lot of Hogan's offense, and he also kicked out of the leg drop at 1. That had never happened before, and I'm not sure if it has happened since. I'm fine with the DQ finish as it kept both guys looking strong. It made it seem like Hogan didn't beat Vader, he just survived him for the moment. Number 1 versus Sting, Great American Bash, 1992. When you talk about guys having chemistry in the ring, Sting and Vader are a perfect example of that. I love Sting from this time because it was like he was Hogan, Warrior, and Savage all rolled into one. He had the power to battle through adversity. He had the little stingers like Hogan. He had cool face paint like Ultimate Warrior. And finally, he had the flashy style and in-ring ability of Randy Savage. Vader was an anomaly, a monster from the depths of hell here to rule the world. This match tells a great story of the unstoppable monster versus the battling for what's right babyface. I loved how much the crowd would come unglued whenever Sting was able to get the advantage on Vader. And Vader came across as a powerful force. They also showcased the strength of Sting as he hit a big Samoan drop and German suplex on the big man. In the end, the hearts of the little stingers were broken when Vader beat Sting and we had a new world champion. In the words of Big Van Vader, the pain game has been taught and the lesson has been learned. Well, there you have it. My list for my favorite matches of the late great Vader. Big Van Vader was a legend, a professional wrestling that did incredible things for a man his size. I feel he is undoubtedly the best big man ever. If you want more Vader after watching this, check out some of his matches in Japan where he may have had his best work. Also check out his book, It's Vader Time. It is an underrated wrestling book.